Good morning, good morning, good morning, off the bench sports family. What a great day! What a super great day! Glad to be here this morning to share prep sports with you guys. We, those of us who love high school athletics, share fondness in our hearts um, that just won't go away. It will not go away because of the passion and the desire that we share for high school athletics. And with that being said, I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about fan etiquette. Fan etiquette. If you're true to the prep school that you say you're true to, that means win, lose, or draw. That means win, lose, or draw. You're cheering your team. You're cheering your favorite player on that said respective team. You're cheering your favorite coach. Like, you don't stop cheering until the 32 minutes or 48 minutes or the 14 minutes it takes sometimes to play a game set match in volleyball, whatever it is, man. Just be there for your team. And they're not going to get it right every time. These are children. And all you can expect from children is for them to be children. Sometimes they do it absolutely right, sometimes they don't get it right. But either way, I see you guys get have more grace, love, and compassion for professional paid athletes than y'all do these high school kids. Get it right, man. Just get it right. If you can give all these dang blang mega superstars, and I'm gonna throw my boy KD in there. I'm gonna throw LeBron in there. I'm gonna throw Dame Lillard in there. Who, man, shout out to Lillard who's stepping out on a perch, saying, "Hey, I want to give these kids what they don't have." Yeah, some of them have great talent, great athleticism, but what they don't have is the understanding of what it takes to be a pro. You can't ask for any more than that from a guy who gets it. So I hope that Dame Lillard's camps are uber successful with great success and all the things, the trimmings that come with that. But until then, remember, these are kids, man. These are kids. Give them a break too. They deserve one. Along with your financial support, your your physical support, and your mental support. All right. Hey, now I'm gonna bring on our first guest of the day, man. He's a Gator. He's a Gator. He loves his school so much so. This is his second tour there. He's been on Prep News before, and we welcome him back again. Please welcome Boshan Gators football head coach Marquez Lewis. What's up, Coach? Welcome. You muted? You muted or your volume low? I can't hear you. Nothing. I don't see a mute, so it got to be something with your volume. All I see is your lips moving, bro. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So, hey, see where your picture is at the bottom below. click on the 3 hamburger dots and go to edit mic settings. Oh, lost coach. He'll be back though. Still nothing. Y'all have to bear with us right now. We're having a little technical difficulties. Again, just like, hey, that's how it happens sometimes.
Let's go.
So, hey, joining us is Beauchamp Gators head football coach. This is his second stint here at Beauchamp, and he's now in his second season. So we can ask a few more tougher questions this time around. Coaches, he's been there. He had a season, a spring, and what's more importantly is now he's had a full summer to get to know his team, and he had a fall preseason. And now last night they had another big test in the form of a scrimmage, and he's practicing this upcoming week for Jamboree. I think. You know, y'all know I ain't that smart. Hey, what's up, Coach Lewis? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Thank you for having me again, HG, bro. I appreciate the opportunity again, man. You know, last time it was a blessing. It was fun. We had like it was a great opportunity. It was one of my first ones, so I appreciate you having me on there. And man, let's roll. Let's get into it, brother.
Hey, you really want to get into it like that, huh? So, in this process, it's been a really great process for everyone, I believe, because I always enjoy watching to see how kids are gonna grow from one period to the next. And what I mean by one period to the next is, so I always like to start when football ends or when the respective sport ends, and that was the first period. Now, this thing right here is really important because in December, when football ends after the state championship, everybody gets January, February, March. You have a 3-month period, a 3-month window in which to get better. And if you can't get better in 90 days, if you can't get bigger, stronger, faster in 90 days, can I be honest? You pissing in the wind. You're not doing the work. If you can't get honest, if you honestly can't get better in 90 days, you're not doing the work. And that's what it's all about. It's about doing the work. It's about being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And so then you got 10 days of spring football, which is period 2. And in those 10 days, your coach should see a progression of your skill set, your attitude, definitely your attitude, because now you're a year older probably, or coming close to turning a year older. Third third period, April, May, June, three more months. And so now June comes, you have 7v7. August, July, and August. That's 60 more days. So everyone has had about 8.5, 9 months, which in totality is a school year, but it's the off season. So again, if you can't get better in 9 months, you have not been working. What kind of growth have you seen in your Beauchamp Gators in 9 months, Coach?
Well, first of all, you spoke to everything that, as a head coach, as athletic director, as somebody who wants to build a program. All those things start once the football season ends. And you mentioned that it was in December, but for us, being that we wasn't fortunate to make it in December, it started in November, in week 12. So basically, our new season started almost 10 months ago, maybe 11. So from that first part of the season, that first phase, it was all about getting bigger, faster, and stronger, becoming better athletes. Not only that, scholastically eligible. Because that's the part that a lot of kids don't think that's important. Because what they think is, once football ends, I don't have to focus on school anymore, because the school isn't as motivating to me as it was when I found play. And as a person in my position, I have to preach that 24/7, 365. Because it's not just about, football, of course, but for them, being that that's the driving force of what they do, I have to continue to let them know that in order to become eligible, in order to stay eligible, this is what you need to do.
Right.
And so that's the first phase. In the second phase, like you said, going into the spring and all that stuff, man, this year, AG, I can honestly say this was eye-opening, most fulfilling, most, attention-grabbing season that I had to set the space. Because going into the season, when I got hired, it was about a month away from my first game. So I didn't have much time to prep for that season. That said, this time around, now that I had that time and that time frame to do it, I told myself the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get somebody to get bigger, faster, stronger, and more development as athletes. And God bless me with this guy named Kevin Brown, from around the area. He's a trainer. He trains people all around the valley, Beauchamp, Appalachia, all the way out to that region. So he's well known for what he do. He has his own company, KFC Training. And when I talked to him back in February, I said, look, man, it might be a long shot. I'm looking for somebody to develop my team. My team, they might have to be better, because that's what we were lacking in the latter part of the season when we were facing district. Athletic program. Because now you let me know that we're not only invested in Beauchamp football, but invested in Beauchamp athletics. So from there, man, we got to work. I got to, got all the ducks in a row. And by mid-May, he was part of Beauchamp coaching athletic staff, and he trained every athlete that's school from May all the way till now. Matter of fact, he's still So he is our residential strength and conditioning coach, and he's been doing wonders. I mean, you can see these kids how they develop from the first day to the last. Numbers went up in the maxes, numbers went down in the running. Just a phenomenal job by him, and it couldn't have been done without him. So I got to give him credit. Also, going into this season, I made quite a few hires, acquisition coaches, and I knew going into the season, the talent level that we had, which no disrespect to the talent that we have now, but those guys were all experienced players. We have less experienced players this year that's going to be stepping up into starting roles. And to counter that, I got some real experienced coaches. So, first off, got me a defensive coordinator, college football, played a little stint with the Saints. I know him since high school, played against each other in high school and in college. So he's going to run our defense. Besides him was a guy named Garrett Kim, who's also a senior in Garrett, like in high school. He also played at Denver as well in the Rangers. And linebackers coach full of energy, full of life, gives them kids a lot of spark into their life. Two other guys that I brought in was a guy named Donald Pugile. He's one of my good friends that I know him since high school. He played as a teammate with me, college, prep brothers, all that good stuff. And he's another guy that he's known for promoting other kids. So he's good on getting kids exposure. And that's definitely a motivation point for our kids. And last but not least, I got a guy named EJ, a guy that I coached when I was first at Beauchamp. And 4 years down the line, now he wants to become a TJ coach. And that's a rewarding feeling, man. So adding all those guys definitely improved the state of our program moving forward. And so, now that we're going into summer, scrimmage, we got work to do, but at the same time, I feel like we are really on the road getting something good started. So I'm happy for that.
Right, right. I need to ask you to do something real quick, Coach. Check your phone. You saw it? Kids got bigger, kids got stronger, kids got faster. How were they able to transfer that into the month of June in 7v7, and how much participation did you guys have?
Participation was definitely good for us. We definitely needed to have more kids participating towards the spring than we did in the summer. But as the summer waned down and towards the end of the summer into the fall season, we saw the more kids coming out. And our biggest thing is that we needed more kids to come out. And now that they're here, you can develop them at the point that they are. And it's moving successfully, but looking back, I just wish I had them back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're trending in the right direction. 7-on-7 was good. I mean, our quarterback, our receivers, those guys are clicking right now. I mean, I feel like that's going to be a strong part of our offense. As far as defensively, we feel like our secondary and our linebackers are going to be more of a strong point as well. So that was a good indicator for us looking forward into the season. So all in all, I think we had a good 7-on-7 this summer, and we're just hoping it all transition to the next phase.
The process of building IQ, football IQ, and awareness is one that it takes a lot of time in spending individual time with each kid. Sometimes at smaller schools, they don't have an adequate number of coaches to coach each individual position. How do you guys tackle that at Beauchamp?
Honestly, I can say that now I'm not as I'm not plagued with that problem as now. 3 months ago, man, because I'll be honest with you, going into the summer, I think we might have 5 coaches at all in the whole program. At 4A level, quad A level, man, that's not enough.
Right.
So I mean, these last 2 months, man, when I started making these acquisitions back to back to back, it really just brought it into something way bigger. So now I feel like the coach staff that we have now is the coach staff I would have always wanted going into this job. And I'm real excited about it. There's so much knowledge, so much experience, so much, and not only just on the football level, man, but just as men. And the greatest part about it, AG and I know you know, seniors and programs, it's a lot different when you have men in the hallways as opposed to those working jobs and you don't see them until 3 o'clock.
Right.
So now we got people that's invested in these kids from the time they enter the hallway to the time they leave the practice field. And that's what monumental. That's what I was so proud of. That 90% of my coaches, so of the 10, 9 of those coaches are on campus. So,
Coach, they call that accountability. Kids know now that, hey, man, coach might be in the hallway. I better not be doing this because I don't want to belly flop. I don't want to do rolls. I don't want to do what the thing called. Man, they really like it's just a lot of different aspects of it that happen. Like you said, when you have coaches on campus versus coaches that are maybe on the coaching staff with a paid stipend versus a CCP coach. So again, the process is beautiful when done right. But again, all the time, certain schools don't have enough resources to get the things they need, and that's some basic stuff as well. How 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 great has it been for you? And I can say this because I've been watching. How great has it been for you in having an administrator that's pro athletics, that sees the benefits of her athletic programs doing well? How much has that meant to you?
oh man, I can't even express how grateful and how appreciative and how blessed this program the way that she wants it, as well as mine. And being that she's an alum here, it means just as much to her as it does to me, and as it does to the rest of these coaches. So she wants to see this program blossom like she knows it can. She wants to see this place become, the pillar for the rest of the town. And I really believe that, everything I came to her with, whether she agreed with it or not, she always had some way of, whether I agree with it or not, she found some way to make it happen, just to make sure I was able to get, whatever it is that gets the program moving forward. So man, Miss Atran is a godsend. And even though she was there before me, you know what I mean, she was a blessing to us and my family. So man, I told her I'm not going anywhere. And as much as people like to come at you with them dollars and stuff like that, man. Let's have the rock to be on that.
Hey, I know she's gonna be really glad and grateful to hear that because she's a big fan of off the bench sports as well. And that make when and I've said this before, when administrators at a school buy into independent media, it's just better for us, man, because now and she's been and you know, more than just a fan or a follower. You know, she's advocated for what we're trying to build here, and she's a frequent user of our services. Now if I can only get football to do right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, just jokes, coach. Uh give me some players that were there last year, uh, that has kind of come out of their shell, and you've seen the work in progress being restored into what you knew they could be.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing about this season is we got a lot of players that had some experience, some full time, some part time. But these guys that I'm about to name, I mean, they've been part of the program since the freshman year, and a lot of them is their last go round, second to last go round. So, but first and foremost, man, I got to talk about the position of the team, which is the quarterback, and that's Jakai Sharp, senior quarterback, he's a starter. Nice size kid, man. I see him playing on the next level. About 6'3", 220. Runs the ball just like you could throw, man. Coach is like, man, this is like a can heat style. Guys, it's really good to run into you. And you got just enough, awareness and touch to get the passes out to the receivers. So he's a focal player of our team, not only just an offense. And aside from them, receivers, Cornell Jones, senior, Peyton Como, Maggie senior, Tucker Thibodeau, Maggie senior. So those guys are going to be focal points as well to the offense because, like I said, seniors, leaders, definitely people that are going to be dependable for Jakai to, look to whenever it's time to get a first down and get a major block or whatever the case may be. So those guys are focal points to the offense. Along with him is our running back, Devontae Sharma. He's actually a cornerback converted to a running back, which as a defensive coach, you hate to do it, but you always want to do what's best for the team.
Right.
Sometimes it's about making those small sacrifices. Not too many of them, because I've been making them more than I need to. But at the same time, if the offense is rolling, I'm not going to stop it.
Right.
Become productive. So, on the offensive line, we have two starters returning. One is a senior, his name's Scott Broussard. Previous starter, he was actually a defensive lineman when I first got the job. And I was like, man, this guy's great, bro. He's pretty nasty up front. I think he could be good on the line. And so last year, started on the line. And once I saw the proof, I was like, yeah, that's where he belongs. And he's his last year as a second year starter at O-line. And the other starter's name is Nate Artigo. And he's a first year starter, but he played a lot last year. He's a center/offensive guard. Yeah, so we got some guys on that side, man. The rest of them, they got really good potential. Matter of fact, one of the other juniors, man, Matt Bakefield, man, tall receiver, 6'3", about 185, 190, man. He was actually lived in our backyard all this time, but at the time I wasn't there. I guess his coach wasn't around, so he decided to go somewhere else. And then finally, once he found a coach like he came this way, so he's now part of our team, and he just made a tremendous splash since he's gotten here, and making plays all over the place. Defensively, returners are linebackers. One, Aiden Charles, he's a senior. Next one is Michael Regan, he's also returning starter linebacker. So I believe they're going to be the best part of our defense as far as stopping the run, flying around, having that experience, and having that individual attribute. So those two guys are very important. Another one is Justin Kennedy. He's actually another outside linebacker. He was a corner before I got here. And then he was like, man, he's too good to be playing that position because he could fill in the hole. And so definitely we put him in there. He just KJ, he's a junior as well, and he's a 3-year starter. So experience in that back end is definitely what we need, especially when we play these passing teams. And come down here, make plays, can tackle, and then after it's just a lot of guys that we have asking to step up. There's a lot of them that first year playing football, first year starting, and I'm asking those guys, those names that I've mentioned, to be the leaders, to be the watch of the team, because when things go up, those are the guys I'm expecting them to lean on to pick up the team.
Right, right. Let's shift gears a little bit. Week 1 is rain. Week 2 is Port Bar. Week 3 is Northwest. Week 4 is Abbeville. Week 5 is Kaplan. Week 6, I think, starts district play with Livonia. Week 7, Cecilia. Week 8, Breaux Bridge. Week 9, that is Hanson Memorial. And you guys get your crosstown rival, your arch nemesis. Uh, and you know what? I'm not going to even say that, because that would mean that there's some dislike between the two programs. And I think it's just really hardy competition. Because again, a lot of those kids that play against each other in that rivalry are related to one another. All from the Opelousas area. And again, in 13 days or so, you get your season opener. Last night, you guys have a scrimmage in preparation for that. Tell us about last night's scrimmage.
All right, so last night we played at Opelousas Catholic. They're school not too far from Opelousas High, actually, in the heart of Opelousas. They're a small A school. I think they're 1A or 2A, but perennial team. They're always in the playoffs. Hard nosed. They play downhill football, run straight at you. Defensively, the same style. I mean, and for a team like us, who I might use it in word for that, but we don't, we're not a run first team. We like to throw the ball around. But at the same time, I like that experience, seeing those kind of downhill teams, because, as you mentioned in the schedule, we're going to face 3 of those teams that's strictly strictly downhill, our football, and the best way to prepare for it is facing that in the preseason. So I believe Catholic was a good look of what to expect as far as that goes. But we had tight, man. I mean, I think we had some good plays on offense. George White, one on a big corner route, another one with our quarterback was for a 55-yard run. And another one where I think we got 13 from goal line. So 3 scores actually. Defensively, we kind of took it in the chin a little bit, and then we fought back towards the end. Made some big plays. So it's all about the experience for them, and understanding that this is what you're going to see in the next couple of weeks. So prepare yourself for this. This is what we need to learn from. This is things that we need to correct. This is things we need to get better on if we want to be successful. So yeah, that was a good challenge, man.
Hey, that again, man. The only thing that's better than competing is competing in the right manner. Definitely not competing in reverse. That means that you haven't took in any of what your position coaches or your head coach is trying to give you. So we definitely don't want to see that from any school. And here we just try to uplift and motivate, encourage, and then we want to acknowledge everybody here. So with that being said, how much energy, how much effort, how much focus does teaching those guys that do the dirty work in the trenches and helping them become better football players, better O linemen, D linemen, how much does that play a part in what you guys are trying to do at Beauchamp?
plays a huge part. I mean, you can't start a game without line. You can't play a game without the line. I mean, the trenches is where it's usually won. I mean, you want to see a winning program with their line. For us, our line is an up and coming, we got a lot of youth in it, but at the same time, those guys are willing to learn. They work hard. They're tenacious. They definitely want to get better every day, and that's the thing. We challenge them as much as we can. Our coach, as a matter of fact, offensive coordinator, has focused more on the line than last year. He was mostly focused on the offensive backfield. Now his focus is helping the whole line because they need their attention. And our defensive coordinator is actually focusing more on the defensive line because he knows their attention. So that all said, the line is where we need to improve the most, but at the same time, I believe that the line is where we will be most improved by the time we get into this.
Right. Coach, man, I think we put a lot of information out there, man. Just trying to shed a little light on all the great things you guys are doing over there, man. And I got to talk to one of your coaches the other day. We talked for about an hour, and he had me laughing the whole hour. So when you see my guy walking down the hallway, first off, tell him I still want my gear, Chris Charlotte. Tell him I still want my gear, and give him a high five for me.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, while we in the midst of mentioning, man, we're gonna wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Coach Scamp.
Yeah, Coach Scamp birthday today, man. Matter of fact, I was walking to work today, man. He was filled with confetti all over his body. Somebody must have shot one of them cannons at him.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna celebrate it to the fullest, as you know he can.
Right.
I might be there with him, but I really want to give a big shout out to him because again, people don't know this, but he was the main reason why I came back the second time around. Me and him formed a great bond when I first was here, and we never lost touch with each other while I was away. And when the opportunity came back again, he reached out to me instantly and said, "Bro, this place needs you, bro. This place needs a person like you because you care, just like I do." And so that was awesome, man. I can't thank him enough for putting it in my ear. Even though I was kind of resistant at the end, I'm like, man, I'm not trying to get back to that. So what was left off, that's not trying to. I'm on a different page, man. You like, no, it's different now. You come back, it's gonna be different. And so holding true to that is the best.
Hey, man. Again, I'm just happy that things are and have been working out for you guys over there at Beauchamp in the right manner, because like I said, when you got guys that care, when you got guys that care about doing things the right way, then good things happen for the team. So much success in your season this year, and I hope that you get everything that your heart desires from this 2022 football campaign.
Thank you, my brother, man. I appreciate you, man. I have fun all the time, man. You gotta do this again, of course.
Oh yeah. Again, man, you're welcome to come back to Prep News any day of the week you want to come. I'm just one text message or one phone call away, and I got a million different topics of conversation stored up in here. I'm a Stuart Scott fan, so he gave me the greatest advice anybody could have ever given me in his passing and in the way he lived his life as a broadcast journalist. So, he definitely my hero in this media game. R.I.P. Stuart Scott. Everything he did was phenomenal. And so I just try to, I know I'm not him, and I don't try to come up with catchy cliches and all that, but I try to give my best effort every day because of him and how he inspired me. So, hey, Coach Lou, I know you gave everybody off today, man. So, uh, like that would ever happen. I knew that wasn't true. I just wanted to see if I could get a laugh out of you before we go. Hey, I'm gonna get Coach I'm gonna get Coach Scamp like that during the start of basketball scrimmages. I don't, he ain't gonna watch this anyway. He ain't no OTB fan, man. He ain't gonna watch this. So I'm put a post out on YouTube. Coach Charlotte said no practice today. No practice today. Go directly home. He has an appointment. He's gonna be mad when he finds out, but he'll be okay. That's my guy. He had yeah, hey, we had it out before one time, me and Coach Charlotte. They came to East Ascension to play. I told them I couldn't talk to them right now because they were playing EA. Yeah, we always at each other, bro. In good banter though, and good fun. Again, man, I really do appreciate you guys. Beauchamp High School on the front end and the back end, they are big supporters of Off the Bench, man. I know I give you guys a hard time, but I really love Miss Tiffany Etienne and you, Coach Charlotte. Some of my favorite kids have come from Beauchamp that I liked watching and supporting, and they give it to me just like I give it to them. So we're good, man. Thanks, Coach. Again, go prop your feet up and watch film and drink your apple juice. I'm gonna catch me a little apple juice. And let's just enjoy the day, man. It's Friday. It's a football game somewhere. Go support your local high school. And remember, this is our campaign this year from Off the Bench Sports all year. You're going to hear me say this all year long, no matter what the season of sport is. If you cannot make it to a game, if you know your coach's phone number, or you know the athletic director's phone number, or the principal, or the athletic secretary, if you cannot make it to the game, drop them $8 off, man. Drop them $10 off, man. Donate to your football program so they can get the things needed. Donate to your basketball or baseball, softball, track and field, whatever you're a big fan of, which should be every single sport that is in the high school athletic association in the city or state you live in. Hey, drop them dollars off, man. Them kids need your financial support. Drop them dollars off. Say it with me, Coach. Drop them dollars off. That's a subliminal message we giving them, Coach. So, hey, thank Coach Marquez Lewis, Beauchamp High Gators football. Up next, we got one of my favorite athletes in the state of Louisiana. She'll be joining us next. We'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back, man. I'm back. I think I got this. I think I got this figured out. And one of my favorite athletes, uh, be it male or female, we had an early morning interview in which she killed it. She absolutely killed it. So, hey, let's share this pre-record right now, and we'll be back momentarily. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Prep News. Welcome, welcome. Hey, I'm truly ecstatic. I got my G, my young G. Man, the thing about this interview, what makes it so special is I got to cover her brother the last 3 years in his high school basketball career. He's a 2022 Southern Lab graduate, which makes, when you build relationship with families, man, that means you doing some sports journalism. Oh, I'm sorry. Introduce yourself. What am I doing?
My name's Kendall Davis. I'm all around, play at Dutchtown, and I'm class of 2024.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How's your morning going?
Good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, thank you for getting up early with the chickens for me, okay? And
Yes.
you just look so vibrant. You must be at least been up for an hour or something, man, getting ready. Let's start here because as we previously mentioned about a minute ago, that your brother was a basketballer,
Mhm.
and so were you. And one day, what happened?
Well, I guess I just wasn't having as much fun with basketball. So I was playing basketball and volleyball at the same time, and I found out that I liked volleyball more. Mhm.
How much of a transition was it for you to forget the pertinent stuff that meant everything for basketball and replace it with volleyball terminology to help you start the process of learning the tools you needed to be an avid volleyball player?
Well, both the sports are pretty different. I would say both of them are pretty fast paced, but you get to pace yourself more in volleyball than you do in basketball. There's no one really controlling what happens on your side of the court. And in terms of like terminology, it was pretty easy to learn, but the terminology is very different since they're two different sports. Like learning the positions and learning what different positions do was pretty. It wasn't difficult, but it was, I'd say, a challenge.
How long was the transition it took you to go from being a novice in volleyball to where you were comfortable with hearing the terminology, knowing the differential movements and flowing with the floor of the game on the defensive side of the ball, because that's really important that you move in cohesiveness as a defensive unit when the ball is getting ready to be volleyed back to you.
Mhm.
How was that transition?
Um, well, it took me about a year to get really comfortable with it. Um, I'd say, like with COVID, there was a lot of time where I got to spend with myself to learn like the basic fundamentals and like try to perfect it as best as I could on my own before I got back on the court. And after that, it got much easier when I learned how to control the ball, passing and hitting. Uh, I I would say it since it did take a year. Once I got back from middle school and started playing high school, it was much easier to it was easier to feel more comfortable playing. Like I was more confident in my skill set.
Right, right. Understandable because middle school volleyball, I think, needs to be underwritten in the high school programs because a lot of times uh, uh, with high school football and high school basketball, volleyball is a sport that needs to be under the leadership and direction of the high school coach.
Hmm.
That way, once you guys get to your high school respective high schools, that you already know the terminology, excuse me, and the base plays that they're running because you're running an abbreviated version of it already, and so now it's second nature when you get to high school and you can play it, especially if you're one of those super freshmen, phenomenal freshmen that goes straight to the varsity team.
Hmm.
That would heed a long way in your development process if you're getting as a 7th, 8th grade volleyball player what the high schoolers are getting. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, well, not only is like the environment's different as well from middle school to high school. Like the coaching style is different. They're tougher on you. Um, like things that you didn't think were as important are much more important, like getting your feet stopped on defense or just like communicating, like calling the ball when you're going to pass it so you don't run into each other and possibly lose an opportunity for a good play. But just, I guess, just small things like attention to detail. You take more account for that in high school than you do in middle school.
I want to ask you this question here, and I've been just really laughing in my head as I thought about it, because it's just I cannot wait to hear this answer. So you get on Dutchtown's campus, and the volleyball tryout sign is posted, uh, that tryouts are happening. You meet Coach Ricks. How tough was he on the fresh incoming freshmen that happened to be on the volleyball team?
I would say I think people's perspective of him out on the outside is way different. Like I personally, I didn't think he was. He wasn't not tough. He was tough, but he was still a caring person. Like you could still tell that he wasn't just gonna be yelling at you all the time. Like I wasn't scared of him. Like I was never afraid of him.
Like every time I see him, though, he's just so nice, man. It's like, Coach, do you ever fuss? Do you ever get mad?
He does.
No, ain't no way, Coach
Yeah,
Ricks fuss.
yeah, he does.
Been knowing him since girls basketball at
Mm,
that time, man. No way, no
yeah,
way.
he does. But it's all his main thing. I'd say is accountability. That's all he ever talks about is accountability, holding your teammates accountable, holding yourself accountable. So when you don't do those things, it it upsets him, but not he doesn't do too much, I would say.
But the accountability thing, it goes hand in hand with competitiveness,
Hmm.
like being in your willingness to compete.
Yeah.
Because if everybody again is in cohesiveness together, which is like volleyball, and from my viewpoint and vantage point, is like the what's it called, the aquatic swimming, where
Hmm.
everybody's doing the same movements underwater or in the water. That's what volleyball is to me. Like even on the offensive side of the game, you guys may appear to be going one way, but then the ball flows. It may flow all the way to the other side of the court for a kill.
Hmm.
And so that I think that's one of the beauties and the joys that I like about volleyball is that when everyone is in sync together, like the movement and the usefulness of the game is just beautiful.
Hmm.
What's your why?
Um. Well, okay. So how you said accountability goes a long way in competitiveness. I
Yes.
think that's a good point, because if you don't hold yourself accountable for things like not going for balls or standing up on defense or not calling the ball, you won't ever fix anything. Like, you're never gonna get better, and you're never gonna be able to fix a point that you messed up. I guess, like, you're never gonna be able to better yourself from that mistake if you never hold yourself to a higher standard and try to reach it every time.
What was more harder for you? I'm gonna give you, I think, three options: learning how to dig properly, learning how to explode high enough to get a block or a kill, or learning how to deal with the rotation and substitution.
I say probably as a newer volleyball player, it was the rotation and substitution, because blocking and hitting and digging the ball is all fundamental stuff. Like, it's easier to learn body movements other than keeping track of who's supposed to go in for who and where you're supposed to be, like, all the time. And sometimes people still get messed up. People still get messed up about who's supposed to sub in for this person, if this person's supposed to be serving.
Hey, that's the part that I always find super funny as well. Like sometimes, especially with the younger kids, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade club teams, like sometimes they may start here, but in the process of the play, it might take them forward, backwards, laterally in either
Yeah.
direction, and then the next thing you know, somebody's trying to lay out and do what that is, the Superman,
Like a
Superman,
pancake, they'd like slide on the floor.
yeah, to get a dig, and then the player's dead, and it's like, okay, we got the point. Whose serve is it?
Yeah.
What's the best part about volleyball for you?
Mine would probably be the social aspect of it. You get to make connections with the people on your team, because it's the same. It's the pretty much the same people every single time. You're just playing next to them. You get to learn how they play. You get to learn, like, if they're down, how to pick them back up, like who brings energy, who needs like help bringing more energy, I guess. Yeah.
The process of being a volleyball player, in the process of being a volleyball player, you never hear about kids going D1. It's just, volleyball is not a talked about sport.
Mhm.
It doesn't get the coverage that it deserves. When you guys are in your clusters, on your school team or on your club team, how often is going D1 talked about?
Not often, not very often at all. And I don't even think it necessarily has to do with the popularity of the sport, but more of the restrictions that the sport has, like height wise. Like, usually, if you're going to go D1 in volleyball, if you're going to be in the front row, it's 6'1" plus height. And so people who can play perfectly fine in high school ball at like 5'7" through 5'10" won't be able to really perform as well as other people will when they get to college, because of the height difference.
I think I've seen a couple of people that may um, exacerbate that rule, if that's the correct word to
Mhm.
use.
Yeah.
Yourself, you're about 5'7", 5'8", I believe, and you get block after block after block after block. Even on girls that are at the 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" range.
Mhm.
Kennedy, shoot, I think her name is Kennedy Thompson, maybe at Dunham.
Mhm.
You guys play Stewart, yeah, Stewart. She's another one, 5'8", 5'9", but she gets blocked after. Again, let me tell you something. I've been a basketball, football guy
Mhm.
my whole entire life. Uh, I, I've I've even enjoyed partaking in baseball,
Hmm.
but following you guys around all summer, all spring and summer, was probably one of the most refreshing things that I've ever done. Because again, I've always thought that girls competed harder than boys. I've always thought that girls were more technical
Hmm.
than you guys keep proving it in everything you do because the passion and the love you young ladies give, especially when it's a sport that you absolutely love, is just unbelievable. In the process of that, what's been the best experiences you've had in volleyball with club and or high school? Like what's been your favorite game or the best or favorite play that you've made or the best
Um,
team you competed against?
okay, for club, I remember one specific play. It was in Houston, and there was a point where each person on the front row was able to get set off of a free ball. So the other team sent a free ball over, so we got the opportunity to have a perfect pass, perfect set, and a hit.
Time, time.
Hmm.
Uh, I want to stop you real quick, and you know I don't mean to do that, but
Hmm.
I need you to explain what free ball means to the viewers.
A free ball is basically when the other side can't hit the ball over, can't hit tip, or the setter can't dump the ball over because they're either out of system or the players on the other side just can't hit the ball, so they have to pass the ball over the net to the other team.
And that's um, in I guess layman's terms, that's when they have no opportunity to get a
Hmm.
kill on the ball to return
Yeah.
it on the volley.
Hmm.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
And so we had the chance to get a perfect pass, a perfect set, and a hit. And since we were swinging so hard, we kept putting them out of system. So each person got to be set. And I think I had the last point. Like I got the kill off of the third free ball that they sent us. And then another favorite was, um, I think during our Carolina tournament for club, we won that tournament. We won the whole thing in our division, and just the whole game was really fun. Like the whole game, we'd worked really hard all weekend. We were all tired, but we were still like fighting to keep going and like finally take home a championship because we've had before that we'd had 2 seasons where we weren't performing our best at all. So then this year, since it was our second tournament and our first away tournament, and we won the whole thing. So we were pretty excited about that.
The light came on.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's so much fun when the light comes on and you turn winning into superimpose winning and domination. And
Hmm.
that's with any sport though. Like when your light comes on and you finally realize that, hey, we're pretty good at this. That some great things happen.
Hmm.
Red Storm. Tell us about Red Storm.
Red Storm was my first and only club. I started playing there in 8th grade, and they taught me a whole bunch about just basic fundamentals of the game, like perfecting certain things, um, footwork, how to close the block, blocking position, and I really like it because there's no like specific thing that you have to work on. Like everyone does the same drills. Everyone like passers hit, hitters pass. Like everyone gets to practice everything.
And that's exactly what club ball should be. You should be
Hmm.
able to expand your overall game with that. So each year, you've been with Red Storm since 8th grade.
Hmm.
Have you had the same coach, or have you had different coaches?
I've had different coaches each year, and they've all had different personalities each time. It was really I think the reason why is they were trying to, like how I said, our first 2 seasons they weren't as good. They were trying to find a perfect fit for us. Like
Yeah.
first, our first coach was more strict. Our second coach was a little bit more lenient, and then our third coach from this year, she was a younger coach. She was only like 10 years older than us, so we connected with her a lot. I think, which is another reason why we did so well.
What's great about learning to play under
Say that again?
philosophies from different coaches for you? What's great about learning to play under different coaches with different philosophies for you?
I think different expectations. Like you have expectations from a strict coach, so you're constantly like taking accountability for yourself, fixing mistakes quicker. More lenient coaches, you're not as afraid to make mistakes, so you take bigger risks. I think so. It kind of balances itself out.
I'm laughing again, so this means another crazy question is about to come. Who's your favorite volleyballer?
In terms of college, I'd say Lexi Sun. She played for Nebraska. Last year was her last season. Because I had started so late, I never really got to keep up much with volleyball, and she was one of the first people that I saw. I'm pretty sure she was an all-around player. She has great swings. Like I've seen her swing from the back row, and it's really she's really powerful. So she was my favorite.
How much studying of the game of volleyball do you do? How much film do you watch? Not of your school or not of your club,
Mhm.
but of other colleges and or universities that have volleyball.
When I was younger and I was starting off, I watched more than I do now because it was so new to me. So I was trying to pick up as much as I could. Like I remember the first team that I watched was Auburn, and I just watched them play. Like I wasn't really trying to grasp anything specific, but when I did, like it would be like when someone passes, they hold their platform to the setter, or when someone hits their elbows back, or their approach is quicker than mine is. So maybe I should try to speed up my approach, and maybe then I'll hit better. So it's just small things.
I remember at one time I saw you doing a lot of work with a personal trainer, doing skill and agility work. How much did that add to your game?
That helped a lot. Just from stamina, because in the front row when you're jumping a lot, it's a lot of physical exertion, so you get tired faster than you would, I'd say, in the back row. And then just strength in general, like being able to swing harder, being able to hold and press block, being able to jump higher and get off the net and get back on the net quicker.
What's your bench?
I don't know.
What's your vertical?
10 feet.
I know you got that. You got that at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
What's your arm span? Your wingspan?
I can't remember. I really can't.
Hey, I bet you're a giant. I bet you're right at 6 feet wingspan. You cover.
It is long. It's longer. I think I have longer arms than it would be for my body proportion. But yeah, I'm so serious.
I'm thinking of this right now. You guys, I think it was the quarterfinals or semifinals. You guys lost in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What was that lesson like for you?
Well, it was my first time playing, so we had made it all the way through the playoffs, and we had gone to Lafayette for the quarterfinals, and we were playing Southside, and I think what got us was pressure. Like, so I guess the biggest lesson would be not to, I guess, relax more in the moment, because if you psych yourself out in the beginning, then you're already basically losing, because a lot of it's mental. Like no, like you're prepared for the game, but when you get there, you're worried about whether or not you're going to make this mistake, whether or not these people are going to see you make this mistake. And they pretty much brought their whole school. It was packed for them. And we had like a few fans,
That's South
their
Side.
parents, yeah.
Like the South Side will have a $2 entry fee in the Shark Tank to get everybody in there, man. They really do, and I'm telling you, like that just wasn't indicative of who they are in volleyball. They've done that in basketball. I've done probably 35, 40 broadcasts of Southside basketball, and they do that for big games in basketball as well. So, don't think that wasn't purposely planned, but Southside is a really good, really young varsity school sports program in all their sports, because I think they're only 3 or 4 years into varsity athletics in all programs. So that's just a good mindset to have. Tell Coach Rick, say, man, we need to let all the students come in for $2, man.
Yeah.
And that's just giving yourself a true home court advantage, and it intimidates the other team.
Yeah.
You're talking to. I'm sorry. That wasn't right. That wasn't what I wanted to say. You guys have a young player that comes into Dutchtown that's really raw, really green, and she's nervous because the program's standard is high. Coach Rick demands, and you guys have been super successful over the last few years. What do you tell that young volleyballer to kind of take the edge off of her nervousness and to get her to just relax and play volleyball as she knows it, and to also help her expand her knowledge of the game?
Honestly, I just say, like, relax. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I wish somebody told me that, like, I didn't have to not take it so serious, but I didn't have to be so worried about it. Like, Coach Ricks does everything to prepare you, like camps and, like, hour-long practice, like 2-hour-long practices, sometimes 2.5 hours, like, or going to strength training and during the summer. So I'd say, like, by the time that the time does come for us to have to play, you're pretty prepared already. And the nerves, like, if you're confident in your skill set, your nerves kind of go away on their own.
Right. You guys are pinned. Give me stick the pin even deeper. You guys are pinned to be a state championship team this upcoming season. How much pressure is that for you guys?
Well, it's definitely pressure, but I don't think any of us are really, like, scared or, like, worried. Like, we know what we can do, and we know what we're capable of doing, and we know what we have been doing in order to prepare for the season to come. So I don't think we're too worried, but we're definitely prepared, I'd say.
August 24th, official start date of the volleyball season, Dutchtown Jamboree. What do you guys do on that day?
Well, usually on game days, we honestly just relax. Like, we just try to not think about it too much. If we have to, Coach Ricks will take us and make sure we understand the type of defense we're playing, because that's one of the main parts of the game is defense.
Right.
So he'll, like, take us through the positioning for blocking or passing, defending the other team. And other than that, we just honestly just hang out as a team until it's time to play.
Do you guys know who you're playing in the Jamboree?
I'm not sure.
Does it matter?
Not really.
How did I know that was going to be your answer? Like, you're the ultimate competitor in volleyball. My second favorite volleyball player.
Yeah.
But you're like she's 1A, you're 1B. I love you all the same, man. You keep impressing me. You keep overwhelming my heart with joy because again, I've watched you your whole life
Hmm.
compete along with your brother Donovan, and I wish not only him success at LSU this year, but of course you much 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 success in your. I gotta say this, and I really do mean it. But I want you know go win a state championship, my girl. She got time.
Yes,
She
sir.
got time. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Or you guys can meet in the state championship game, and that would make me really happy too.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think y'all got them at Georgia Tech, huh?
Yeah, we did. It was fun playing them though, knowing that another team from Louisiana who also happened to be in your district
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there too.
Hey, it took every fiber of my being to not go and just let her grow up, man. I learned a valuable lesson from Junior, and just being in his personal space, not giving him just the room to grow and be him. So I'm trying not to make that same mistake as a parent again. I think that's the greatest evolution of parenting, learning from one child to the next what mistakes not to repeat. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be fun though. I'm gonna try to be there for the jamboree, to cheer you guys on. It's gonna be so much fun. I already know it because I've seen you guys compete. I've seen EA compete. I've seen State compete. So I'm like it's the rivalries in Ascension Parish are just wicked, man. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Or it's gonna be jam packed to capacity. Uh, oh man, we went over. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But hey, you want to shout out? Yeah, I don't think I did that this season yet.
I
But
don't think so.
the season's only 3 days in, so I can't really trip.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Kendall Davis. She's an all-arounder. She's a volleyballer. She's a Griffin. And a Griffin is a big, mystic, mysterious bird for you guys that don't know. She's one of my favorite volleyballers. And I'm a fan. So
Thank you.
remember, get off the bench, get into the game. Hey, I want to thank Miss Kendall Davis, Dusttown Griffins Volleyball, for joining us early morning interview, where we had a lot of fun, man. It was great just chopping it up with her, and hearing her story, which is unique and different because she didn't start out in basketball. Volleyball, she started out in basketball. So the transition and the transformation, with some of the footwork is transferable, but the overall skill set and knowledge and the way you approach the game is very very different. And she's worked her can off. She hasn't been given anything in the game of volleyball. She's earned and worked for everything that the game is giving her. And I want to talk about this real quick because I think this is something else that's really important. Let's stop calling people that play specific sports. Let's stop calling them athletes, or athletic is probably the better terminology, because when you do that, you take away from all the hard work that they've done. You take away so much from them that they've given to their respective sports in saying that they're athletic. All an athletic person can do is run and jump. They have no technical side to their games. And so we do a huge disservice to those athletes in just saying they're athletic. Like they wouldn't be where they were if they weren't athletic. Well, guess what? Ding, 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 ding. Bad news alert. Athletic people can't make technical plays. They don't even know how. Because again, all they merely know how to do is run and jump. And so that's that within itself is disrespectful. You know, there are football players or basketball players or volleyballers or baseballers, softballers, golfers, whatever their respective sport is. Let's just be respectful to them and call them what they are. And those that can do, those that can't, yeah, they probably don't. And so remember, get off the bench, get into the game. Hey, great show. Oh, I forgot to talk about this, you guys. So last night I got to attend my first ever football game in the state of Georgia while I'm up here visiting, helping with my dad. Y'all, please say a prayer for my dad too, man. He's not doing well, um, and it's really tough to see as a child that's been helping to take care of your parent for the last 29 years. Um, yeah, it's pretty hard. But so last night I got to see the Hateville Hornets football team travel to Newton County to take on the Newton Rams. And in my personal opinion and objectiveness, it was a game that was built on speed, grit, toughness, and a whole lot of god doggone good coaching. Um, Stick to itness is not something that everyone has. Everyone isn't blessed with that gift. And last night I got to see two teams that had stick to itness. Uh, Guys would not let their teammates quit. The first half pretty much belonged to Hateville. They get on the board from the opening kickoff from scrimmage with a 75-yard TD run by shoot number kid number was number 12. I think it was Demontez Reeves. Sorry about that, Demontez. Um, and man, he hit that gap with a burst of speed that was so fast, and it was just really really good to be back in the high school football environment, uh, seeing kids compete like real life competing. Just it does something mentally to me that like it sends out fireworks that keep on exploding like it's Groundhog's Day, and so you know you just become enthralled in the moment, and you exert just so much energy from being in the moment and making sure that you don't miss not 1 second of what's happening, and so um 7-0 lead. Hateville gets the PAT attempt to go through the uprights. Then they get another touchdown by running back Demetrius Thompson. Um, go up 13-0 at the half. Hateville muffs a punt. And this was, I think, in my opinion, and this was what kind of changed the more of the game. And when they got that muff hook punt, I think it was maybe 2 plays later. Newton throws the ball to the corner of the end zone. They're very big receivers. Shout out to Coach Grant of Newton, man, for just not allowing his kids to quit. 13-7 at the half. Then Newton comes out and they have a 6-minute and 10-second stall of the ball. And yeah, I called it a stall of the ball because they didn't get in the end zone. So Hateville was bend but don't break in that exchange. But then Newton comes back around, takes a 20-13 lead late in the fourth, about maybe 5 minutes left, 3 minutes left, something like that. I can't remember what it was. Hateville comes back and scores, and here was the coup de grace moment of the game when Hateville gets that score, and it's 20-19. What do you do as a head coach in this situation? Do you play for extra minutes in a game where your kids have already played a 3.5-hour football game, or do you go for the win? You can't question that judgment either way, whether it makes it or not. Hateville gets a penalty, takes the ball back to the 8.5-yard line, and they go for a pass that takes the back on a real wheel route, which would in fact take the inside backer away from the middle of the field. And they just, again, quarterback for Hateville, just he was maybe this close from it being a tight pass. And so incomplete pass, minute 20 seconds left on the clock. Newton does what they should have done, and that's 2 running plays, and you go home for the night. Newton gets a comeback 2019 win over Hateville Hornets. And again, great job by Newton and Coach Grant by not quitting, by playing 48 minutes in the ball game. And shout out to whoever was the clock operator, man. That guy, he ran that clock crazy, stopping it. Like the clock even had to say, "Man, are you gonna let us finish the first half?" Uh, it was worth the price of admission. Really great game again. Fans, be real fans. Whether you like what's happening within the course of the game or not, be real fans. Cheer your team on through the good, through the bad, through the indifferent, because again, these are high school kids. Even with the NIL in full effect now, some of those kids aren't getting paid to play. They're playing, and I ain't talking about the ones that uh, don't have an impact on the game. I'm talking about especially the ones that make an impact on the game. They don't get paid to play. Some of them are now, but overall, they don't get paid to play. And so you cannot be angry with a bunch of 14, 15, 16, 17, 8-year olds who are just trying to figure life out as well as play the games or the respective sport that they love. So yeah, drop drop that gate fee off if you can't make the game and cheer your team on. Cheer your coaches on. Cheer your team on, cheer your coaches on, cheer your favorite player on. Or players. Again, in my heart, I cheer for every kid that plays high school athletics, whether they're good or bad. And who's to say what's good and who's to say what's bad? So make sure you're doing your schoolwork. Make sure you're getting off-season workout that you can really transfer and translate to your next era of your game, and everything else will take care of itself. You know, really proud of the work that we're trying to do here at Off the Bench Sports Network because we're trying to do honest work that's not filled with dramatics, that's not built on humbuggishness. And so people always ask, well, man, why you don't do this or why you don't do that? Man, we ain't complaining about nothing. If we can be there, we're gonna be there with joy and love and happiness in our heart. And if we can, we can. But know we're cheering for you. Know we want you to do well. Know we want you to be successful. And whatever it is you choose to do, even if it means understanding that, yeah, the next level may not be for me. I'm just going to be really great in my time and try to get this free college education out of it. And even if that's all you do and you gave your best effort, you're a winner. You're a winner in our books. Shout out to all the guys that do independent media. Coach Torrey Davis, Algiers TV out of the New Orleans area, Josh Preston out of the New Orleans area, Mr. Grissom Pickums out of the Monroe, Louisiana, Nick Lang, man, out of Winfield, Louisiana. Um, my guy, he's not a football guy, but he's my guy yet and still. Preston Edwards, who does prep hoops, um, basketball. Shout out to Coach Black. He's a coach in the Shreveport area, but he does a lot with youth athletics, high school athletics, and he's just recently started his own training um, workout program where he's trying to give back um, to the people in the Shreveport, Bossier communities. And he does a really good job with it. So we cheer for everybody too. We want everybody to be successful. Shout out, forgive me, Jeremiah Gray, G Sports. He does him and Nick, man, and Josh, they do a wonderful job um, turning your kids' highlights into masterpieces. And so you got to respect the work, the hard work they do, because this is not easy. And sometimes, us guys, we do this out of our last $2. Shout out to the ones who are monetized and making money on this social media. But until you do, you just keep pressing forward. Keep pressing forward, and everything else will take care of itself. Try to have some really, really more great interviews for you guys coming up next week and the next 9 months to come. Again, I learned a really valuable lesson this past year. I understand why when a coach's season is over, they turn their phone off for a month or two because you need that break. You need that mental break to just reflect on how your season was and what you need to do to start getting kids prepared for their next season. And a lot of coaches go into coaching AAU or 7v7 in their respective sports or baseball or whatever their sport is. So I'm just super happy and super elated today, that I get to do something that most people don't want or can't. So I'm really happy. The smile, that may not always reflect it right here, but right there in the old heart where everything flows from. I'm just super happy, man, and I wish that we could all win. I wish that we could all get a trophy, but that's not why sports and athletics were created. Uh, Success favors the most prepared person. You want to be successful, prepare better. You want to be successful, prepare harder. You want to be successful, prepare longer. No, it don't take longer. It just takes for you to be precise in your 45 to 55 minutes of working out. It just takes you giving all you got in your goal of being a better you, better version of you. You don't have to be like Mike. You can be like you and achieve the success Mike had. I think I read a thing this morning on Insta where it said in 1984, Nike only, keyword only, expected Jordan to make $3 million in a 4 year span. That was 1984, 94, 04, 14, 19 is 35 years. You add 3 years, 38 years later, the Jordan brand product makes $3 million every 5 hours. I didn't make that stat up. It's just what I read. I don't even remember where I read it. It had to be on one of the 98 Jordan pages that they are. And so, good deal. Good deal. Again, go support your local high school game tonight. I'm going to try to make it to another football game in the state of Georgia. So, thank you guys again. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game. Just joking.